All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. You're just in time for State of the Nation, where we talk about matters, politics, and everything in between there. We'll start to take a look at the dailies and then get into the politics of the day, or the political realignments that everyone is talking about. We had the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua give a soundbite. We'll speak to that in just a bit. Also, Raila Amolo Odinga has been meeting different people, the stakeholders. He also spoke yesterday from CI. We'll be talking about that in just a bit. My guests are with me already in studio. Honorable Rosa Buyu, Kisumu West Member of Parliament. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you, Trevor.
Also, Willis Otieno is here, Deputy Party Leader Safina. Thank you very much for making time.
Thank you very much.
We're still waiting for Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, Mbeere North Member of Parliament. As soon as he comes in, we'll rope him into the discussion. But we'd like to hear from you, mostly at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. Let's start off with the dailies and the front page of the Standard. They say garbage governor. Nairobi County boss Johnson Sakaja did the unthinkable when he chose to settle a score with Kenya Power using trash and sewage. Leaders have condemned the act, with Parliament calling for the arrest and prosecution of those culpable. And Willis, I'll start with you on this. Did the governor overreact?
The governor
or was this simply a tit-for-tat sort of game?
The governor did not overreact. The governor merely showed us his incompetence. That is who he is. He's garbage in. So what do you expect out? Garbage out. Because who was he affecting when you disseminate sewage and garbage on a public road? It is members of the public. It's Nairobians who use those roads. It's Nairobians who you're exposing to health pandemics. In fact, we should not be discussing the governor's reaction. We should actually now be discussing the governor being arraigned in court to answer to charges of environmental degradation and threatening the lives and health of those who live in that locality, or even those who work in that locality. So this is not, it tells you the kind of thinking that goes into this Kenya Kwanza administration. That when someone is confronted with an electricity bill, your response is to use what you think is your might to dump that garbage. And it's learned from William Ruto. When Gen Z exercised the Article 37 rights, when Azimio in 2023 exercised its Article 37 right to demonstrate, William Ruto responded with guns to kill young people. So Sakaja has learned from the best. I'll also respond with whatever weapons I have. Unfortunately or fortunately for us, the city hall, they don't have guns. All they have is garbage. So you use the same garbage to dump, to run away from his responsibility. Same as William Ruto uses guns to run away from the constitutional dictates that recognize the right to free demonstration and to picket.
Legally speaking, is it possible to hold the governor accountable for this sort of act? Because there are many layers in between there. We had the majority leader say that the drivers and then the people gave instructions. Is it possible to hold him accountable? And is it even fair to accuse him of this
In fact,
act?
In law, we have what is called vicarious liability. And in this particular instance, those people are doing it in the course of their employment. And they're acting under instructions. And the buck stops with the governor. So he's actually the one who is responsible, ultimately. It is not enough to go for the driver, to go for the turn boy of that garbage truck. You go for the person who bears the ultimate responsibility. And also, more importantly, if you look at it, when this garbage was being dumped, what informed that action? What informed that action was a responsibility placed on the governor. So all of them become co-accused persons. You cannot say that you'll charge the driver without charging the governor. He's the one who bears the ultimate responsibility for those illegal acts.
Okay. Honorable Buyu, what do you think?
Actually, I think the governor did overreact. Okay. And given that he's at such leadership position, he should have found a way of dealing with KPLC, yes. And what happened is the people who had nothing to do with the bills that they'd accrued ended up suffering. And these are actually the people that he represents. So eventually, the ripple effect was he punished his Nairobi citizens, who are the people that he's governing, and the people who voted for him, and the people he represents. So at the top layer, they should have actually found a way of dealing with that issue. And I just want to say that indeed, the buck stops with him, because he's the head of that institution. The drivers just acted upon instruction, and even if they felt that what they were doing was wrong, they could not disobey the instructions they were given. Yeah. So ultimately, the governor in this case must bear the brunt of what happened.
But has this shown some level of disconnect between the leadership, between the Kenya Power and the governor of Nairobi and the county government of Nairobi? Shouldn't there be a better way of working? Because even the governor himself came out and said that our power was disconnected simply crippling all activities at the county level.
Yeah, but I think, remember, we are working for one people. Whether you're in the county government or in the national government, there must be some synergy, because the end result is the people who you represent must be comfortable. So it doesn't matter what wars or what debts you owe amongst yourselves. You must find an amicable solution so that the people do not suffer, you know. But when it's tit for tat, then who ends up suffering? It was not the governor suffering, it was not the MD of KPLC suffering, but it was the people suffering. And I think that's posed a high health risk to the people. And we must find a way of sorting out our issues and not doing what we saw happen.
Okay. Willis, what options do the people who will stay at the steamer plaza now have? Because some of them could not go to work because of the garbage trucks that blocked their entrance.
The first option, in my view, is that they need to institute legal proceedings against Governor Sakaja for his act of exposing members of the public to health hazards. So they need to bring action against him, sue him in his personal capacity, and also sue the county administration. And he should pay even to repair that environment and meet the cost of the damage and the loss those people have suffered, the health risk they have been exposed to. And I do believe that if you are functioning society, the next available remedy will have been for the Nairobi MCAs to table an impeachment motion on Sakaja, because those acts by their nature are acts that what we call environmental crimes being committed against the innocent people of Nairobi. And the third option that we have is that we should actually institute private prosecution. In fact, first before private, the DPP ought to institute criminal proceedings against Sakaja for those acts committed against the environment. But failure of the DPP, there should be private prosecutions of Sakaja for what he has done to the people of Nairobi.
Rosa, is this an impeachable act from your view?
I think if you're looking for gross misconduct,
Yeah.
this could be part of gross misconduct. Yeah, I think so, because in the way that it affects the people,
Yeah.
you know, it could lead to dangerous or high-level health hazards, and it would fall under gross misconduct. But again, it depends on how the MCAs would handle it. But I think that this was gross misconduct.
All right.
Yes.
I'd like to bring in Geoffrey Ruku. He's a member of parliament from Mbeere North in just a bit. But for now, let's switch gears and talk about the Daily Nation front page. Ruto's battlefronts, rebellion led by former DP Rigathi Gachagua and ending problems in the health sector, university funding model headache, regional crisis in Sudan and DRC. Willis, are we heading in the right direction as a country?
You know, the country today is in a desolate state. And I say this with tremendous respect to the people of Kenya. There is a state of hopelessness. If you look at William Ruto has been defeated home and away. Because in terms of how he's governing the country and the impact of his policies on the people of Kenya, he has caused more pain to Kenyans today than even they felt yesterday. Now we've taken this to the international scene. When we present a candidate for a position in the national scene, you are seeing countries are able to easily build consensus around the Djiboutian as opposed to a Kenyan. Yeah. Why? Because of the position that Kenya has taken internationally. So for us, internationally, our best friends now are Janjaweeds, those who are accused to have killed over 300,000 people at a go. And if you try to imagine 300,000 people dead, try to imagine the entire Kibera. Everybody in Kibera is dead, killed by a group. And in Kenya, they are given a red carpet, welcomed by the head of state, given a liaison office to set up in this country. And those are now our friends. So for William Ruto, it seems every day he wakes up to cause pain, if not to Kenyans, but to neighbors. He's in DRC. You're seeing the kind of things happening in DRC right now at the moment, and you're seeing civilians, innocent people being killed with blatant disregard to human life. So we are in a very bad state. We're in a desolate state. There's hopelessness, and when you look at our political leadership, what do they discuss? What do they focus on? You'll expect even a prudent administration post the AUC debacle that the first step will be to say, okay, let's sit down, let's discuss what is the way forward, what went wrong. We are seeing a discussion on let's form government. That discussion on let's form government, they're not even expand it, make it broad-based, give people positions, give Raila Sijui, give ODM more seats, they're discussing themselves. But on the table of discussion, you are not even seeing the first agenda item to be, let's give justice to the 70 Gen Zs who were killed. Let's give justice to the 300 Gen Zs who've been abducted. Let's give justice to the mothers who are crying. As the first agenda item on any political conversation. The second agenda item should be, how do we address the health pains of our people? Shift share is not working and they all accept it. When any of these members of parliament fall ill, none of them uses shift share. Let's now discuss this thing now in details and find a solution to our people. We are witnessing, if you look at the front page, you are seeing the issue of university funding. Even many students who qualify to join university didn't join university last year, and more will not join university this year. You should be discussing how do we improve on our funding model to make sure that these young people are given an opportunity to go to school and they are funded. We need to look into the component of young mothers. Go to the village, go to any county hospital today. You'll find young mothers who are detained in hospitals because they cannot pay 10,000 Kenya shillings delivery fee for normal delivery. And yet, previously, they were covered under Linda Mama. We've now turned giving birth in this country to become a criminal offense, that you must pay. If you don't pay, you are detained in a county referral hospital and you're only given 1 meal a day. So the state of the nation is very bad. And we are not seeing a genuine conversation to address these challenges. The conversation that these ones want to have is a conversation that is limited to giving people jobs, for crying out loud.
Which ones?
I'm yet to, the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, I'm yet to see, or I'm yet to attend or witness a demonstration of Kenyans going out to say, we want our member of parliament or we want our party leader to be given a job.
Okay.
So why don't you respond to the cries of the people of Kenya at first instance before we look into the comfort of leaders?
All right. Rose, having seen all this, the Ruto's battlefronts, a rebellion led by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and ending problems in the health sector, university funding model headache, what is the state of the nation in your view?
First of all, I want to say that globally, we are going through very difficult economic times. And indeed, the president is bedeviled with very many problems. Okay? But I choose to see it differently. Trevor, there are many ways to skin a cat. We as ODM or as Azimio, we've tried other ways. We've been on the streets. Probably, I don't know if Willis ever went out on the streets, but we've been on the streets and I've been on the forefront on those streets, trying to bring changes. We know what has happened. And what is happening now, it's not a scramble for jobs. If you listen to what the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga said yesterday, people are talking. And this is a different method that we are trying now. That is it possible that we can come together and talk about abductions, talk about this share shift, talk about things that are happening, talk about corruption. Is it possible that this other way of skinning a cat could actually work better than going out on the streets? Because we've gone out on the streets and we are capable of going back on the streets again if we want. But to what end? What results do we get? The results that we definitely get is a lot of dead people or many dead people on those streets. And therefore, many families crying out for their dead ones. And so we are trying a different method of talking. And I know that if it comes to education, if it comes to health, things are not working. And I want to look at it as work in progress. And I just want to ask the president that sometimes you might make take a decision to go one way. If it's not working, there's strength in reviewing what you're doing and bring people together and find a solution, as opposed to going ahead and going on with the way you had started just because you are in that position. So I think it's work in progress, and I hope that the president and the people in charge of these institutions will be magnanimous enough to want to relook and to bring back people together so that we can come up with lasting solutions in health, in education, because those are fundamental areas that affect each person at the core. And that is what I'm looking forward to. Okay,
so it's a matter of talking. We'll discuss that in just a bit.
Not just talking, talking with results, because you can talk forever. But if you listen to Honorable Raila yesterday, I think he's saying that we must stop abductions. We must relook at this and put a stop to corruptions. And we must also relook at our education model, because these are things that are affecting wananchi directly, as opposed to going out on the streets and shouting and running, doing running battles on the streets, and probably never getting listened to, but getting killed and never coming together to discuss. So for me, I think we are going to give this way a try. And it's not about scramble for positions. It's trying a different way to bring solutions to this country.
Okay. Honorable Geoffrey Ruku is joining us now, Mbeere North Member of Parliament. We'd like to hear your views on two issues on the dailies before we get into the 2027 realignments right after the break. First off is the Standard leads with the title, Garbage Governor. Did the governor overreact when it comes to the standoff between the Nairobi City County and KPLC?
True that Governor Sakaja went beyond his mandate. There is a way of solving any dispute. And this is illegal, this is criminal. You can't go and dump garbage in front of someone's gate, and this KPLC. That means tomorrow you can wake up and do the same in front of your door, in case you don't pay KPLC, you don't pay some of the bills you owe the county government. So I think this is criminal, this is illegal, and Sakaja should be called to order. There is always methods in place to ensure whatever KPLC owes county government or county council of Nairobi can be paid. So I don't support this. Though at the same time we understand a huge amount of money have not been paid to County Council of Nairobi, and there is huge pending bills, which also governor should be able to pay other people, and he can only pay if he has these resources. But taking this route is not the best way to solve any dispute.
Okay. When it comes to the Daily Nation front page, there's a Ruto's battlefronts is what they're leading, with rebellion led by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and ending problems in the health sector, university funding model headache. Have we lost direction as a country?
I think we have not lost direction. I think the administration is trying to get right too many things at the same time. If the administration can focus in one major thing and get it right, we have two sectors which affect the common man, and this is education and health. The administration
are in shambles.
The administration has to do whatever it takes to ensure health they get it right, as well as education, they get it right. I think there's a lot of work which needs to be done as far as the Ministry of Health is concerned. I'm expecting, from where I see, to be seeing the Minister in charge of Health to be coming out probably on a weekly basis to update Kenyans on what the ministry is doing as far as SHA is concerned. It is true there are some teething problems, but SHA is working. Yesterday I got a report from my two constituents, whom one of them is actually a guy who works in my rural home, that SHA is paying about 42,000 for him. He had a road accident with a motorbike and went to the nearby hospital, which is called Tenri, and is getting charged about 89,000, and SHA is paying over a half of that amount which is required. Another parent from Mekirie, who is admitted at Kenyatta National Hospital, also SHA is paying close to 60,000 Kenyan shilling. And when I ask why is it that it's not able to pay the entire amount of money, the answer is, for it to be able to pay the whole amount of money, you need to have contributed for a whole year. So that is the difference. So we can't say SHA is not working 100%. It is working. However, there are some areas where, in case of chronic diseases, where the fund is not yet resourced to take care of chronic diseases. So there are a number of issues which need to be taken care of, but the government and this administration must put all effort in this sector to ensure we get it right, because the very poor in our rural areas, the most remote places, they get sick. When they get sick, they need to be treated. They have children who have to go to school. It is possible from where I sit to ensure there is free primary, free secondary, and also free higher education in the Republic of Kenya. We can cut budgets from different sectors to ensure we get it right. It is possible to cut the budget.
Right.
Then also, we have public service. Public service must be properly stimulated to ensure if it is Minister of Education is efficient enough. If it is the Minister of Health, it is efficient enough. End of public service, Felix Koskei, need to ensure, need to put effort in telling his people within these two ministries that work must be done. You need to understand what they do when they go to the office. We had a very efficient public service during Mwai Kibaki's time. People who went to the work every morning, ensuring that public service is about serving Kenyans. It's not about making deals. It's not about business. At the moment, we have huge workforce of people who go to the office to make deals, to look for business. These are to stop. The person to stop them is end of public service. Felix Koskei.
I have to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking about political realignments, but also I know there's a lot of reaction to what Geoffrey Ruku has just said in just a moment. We also send in your views at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. See you in just a bit.